$7 million for reef fish management, $25 million to combat Asian carp, $2.5 million to count the number of amberjack fish in the Gulf of Mexico.
Look, talk about education. I propose that what we take is those very poor schools, the Title I schools, triple the amount of money we spend from $15 to $45 billion a year. Give every single teacher a raise to the equal raise of getting out the $60,000 level. Number two, make sure that we bring into the help the student, the teachers deal with the problems that come from home. The problems that come from home, we have one school psychologist for every 1,500 kids in America today. It's crazy. The teachers are I'm married to a teacher. My deceased wife is a teacher. They have every problem coming to them. We have to make sure that every single child does in fact have 3, 4, and 5-year-olds go to school, not daycare, school. We bring social workers into homes and parents to help them deal with how to raise their children. It's not that they don't want to help. They don't know quite what to do. Play the radio. Make sure the television, make sure you have the record player on at night, the phone. Make sure the kids hear words. A kid coming from a very poor school, a very poor background, will hear 4 million words fewer spoken by the time they get there. There's so much. I'm going to go like the rest of them do, twice over. Okay?
I eat extra sharp, that's what I eat.
Early in the morning, they went to the table with the black robe, the black shield, and they pulled out the votes.
It is time for us to do what we have been doing, and that time is every day. Every day it is time for us to agree. It is
You used the word smart. So you said you went to Delaware State, but you forgot the name of your college. You didn't go to Delaware State. You graduated either the lowest or almost the lowest in your class. Don't ever use the word smart with me. Don't ever use that word.
Oh, give me a break.
Because you know what? There's nothing smart about you, Jeff.
There was no response. They didn't have one for that. Now it's very sad. Very sad.
Let's go, Brandon. I agree.
I went in yesterday and there was a television screen, and I said, this is genius.
The world is actually a small piece of the universe, right? And then they have cans of soup. And they throw the cans of soup. That's better than a brick because you can't throw a brick, it's too heavy. But a can of soup, you can really put some power into that, right? And then when they get caught, they say, no, this is soup from my family. They're so innocent. This is soup from my family. It's incredible. And you have people coming over with bags of soup, big bags of soup, and they lay it on the ground, and the anarchists take it and they start throwing it at our cops, at our police. And if it hits you, that's worse than a brick because it's got force. It's the perfect size. It's like made perfect. And when they get caught, they say, no, this is just soup for my family. And then the media says, this is just soup. These people are very, very innocent. They're innocent people.
Hello, users, and welcome to another goddamn. Welcome to another goddamn show. And we're doing a goddamn here today, live. Well, it's pre-recorded to the extent that there's like a 15-second delay. So, it's not necessarily live, though. Is anything live, really? I mean, unless you're in the room with someone, is it possible to be live? Not entirely sure. So we got a show here today. I'm doing a program from my pajamas. That's right. This is the weekend show. This is what I do. I stream in my pajamas. Yeah! Am I right, people? So it's the weekend. That means it's time to put my sunglasses on and drink alcohol at noon. All right, so we got a show here today. I think we have a show. Hold on, let me check. Is there a show going on? Does anyone know? It was canceled? What? But I'm on the show right now. Turn it off? What? Uh-oh. Okay. Y'all, I've got some bad news. I'm afraid Above It All has been canceled. It appears that the board, the Above It All board, has decided to pull the plug. So, I apologize, everyone. It looks like the show is over. It's still on. Hold on. Hold on. Okay. Alright, I turned it back on. I didn't press the button yet. Okay, so it's back on. Are you sure? Okay. Okay? Alright. Alright. You have a good one. Alright. May Fools, folks! That's right, it's the 1st of May. It's May Fool's Day, as we know. And so welcome to the program. Doing a little comedy here. This is a comedy program. This is a show that we do here, where I make jokes. I do funny jokes, because I'm funny. And once again, I am sitting in my new chair. As you can see, I got armrests on this bitch. Look at this. Look at that. Got armrests on this bitch. I'm wearing multiple shirts because it's cold. It's cold where I'm at for some reason. One day it's hot as fuck. The next day it's cold as fuck. And now I'm cold. I've got a $1 bill. A $1 bill here, as we can see. This is what's going on right now. This $1 bill is from 2013. And I've got a receipt. What's this for? Don't worry about that. I got a phone here on my desk. I have a 7-Eleven lighter on my desk. Does this still work? It does. All right. And I've got these. I got that on my desk. And so we're doing a show today. I've got this thing. This is like a USB thing. It goes on like the USB port, like this. Look at this. Hold up. Check this out. So it's like a little dust cover for the USB port. And so now that's not on my desk anymore because I put it on a random USB cable. How much did the chair set you back? I don't know. It was like $40 or something, 50. I don't remember. Complete tour of the chair, or did I miss that? We got a chair. It's white. It's a white chair. As you can see, it's got like this back here. It's got armrests. As you can see, they're a little loose, but that's fine. It rotates. It's spinny. And the armrests have no like cushion on them, but that's fine. It's comfy, you know. It does this. Whoa, it does that. That's always great. You love to do that. It goes down. Hold up. That's fucking crazy. That's crazy. But I like being high up. And so we're being high today on the program. So so I'm wearing my pajamas today on the program. I don't, like, am I supposed to do a news show? Am I supposed to do a news show? Is that what I'm here for? Did you break the seal on your Faraday cage and expose yourself to the potential attacks while bringing in the chair? Or was there some sort of protocol to prevent that? Well, we have an airlock. We have an airlock. Like, you know, in Mega Man X? Like, you know, Mega Man X where you go, like, open the door, and then there's, like, you know, he goes like this, right? But in slow motion, and then the door closes, and then they're in that little section, and then you go to the next door, and then he's like this again, you know, when he's running in there in slow motion, and then the door closes. That's where we brought the chair in, through the airlock. Myla, of all people, can you believe it? Myla, decided to abandon us today, going for brunch. By the way, who does brunch at fucking 12:20? That's fucking called lunch. Like, I don't know what lunch is not brunch. It's goddamn 12 o'clock. That's lunchtime, motherfucker. I would even go as far as to say that, like, 11:30 is lunch. Like, 11 is lunch. Like, what is brunch? Someone described to me as brunch as breakfast, but with alcohol. Now, that, to me, that makes a lot of sense, but I call that breakfast. You know what I'm saying? She's on the West Coast. Yeah, I don't believe in time zones. I'm sorry. What my clock says is the time everywhere. And that's, I refuse to intake any other information. I'm not gonna do it. So we got a show here, doing a program today. And so I decided to do this program. So I decided to do a program, and I made that decision, I believe I made that decision today, though I could have made it yesterday. And so, I've got a program here, today, and, this is interesting. So, let's talk about this. Okay? Hold on. All right. Officer down! Officer down! Bang! There goes another one. Except this time they did not kill themselves from a gunshot. SJ officer, former SJSU football star Dejon Packer died from, quote, fentanyl toxicity, coroner says. So the reason why I'm talking about this, well, multitude of reasons. One of them, another cop is dead. Hallelujah. Second of all, even the cops, like the cop response to this is incredible. This is incredible. And I say that in this literal sense, like as in it lacks credibility. Like there's no way this shit is true. All right. San Joe's Caliph, Kugo. Dejon Packer, a rookie San Joe's police officer and former San Joe's state football star who died at his Milpitas home last month, passed due to, quote, fentanyl toxicity. Santa Clara County medical examiner confirmed to ABC 7 News. So, okay. First of all, I want to say this. Okay? Like, this is a situation, quote unquote, substance abuse, right? The idea that I'm gonna argue honestly that at least 50% of police officers have drug addiction problems, whether that be alcohol, whether that be caffeine, whether that be harder drugs like maybe cocaine or other sorts of stuff like fentanyl, right? I would be shocked if honestly, and this now at least 50% if I'm being objective. If I'm being subjective, right? I'm going to say probably closer to 95% of police have drug addiction problems. Now, again, I know a lot of police officers in my personal life. I have a couple in my family, and they're all fucking psychos, right? So I'm just saying, right? Anyway, let's keep this in mind. So this person died of a substance use issue, a medical condition, by the way. Also, they were a cop, and yet they were doing drugs. Isn't that crazy? In a statement, Chief Matta promised accountability. Wait, what? What? Accountability? What does that mean, accountability? Like, they never demand accountability when a cop kills someone, right? Like, a cop brings out a gun and shoots a black man in the back of the head as they're running away. Accountability, I don't know what you're talking about. But a police officer commits suicide via drug addiction, and all of a sudden, there needs to be accountability? To who? For who? They're dead. They're no longer alive. Like, where's the accountability? Right? But again, this is why I wanted to cover this one, because again, this is fascinating to see the police response to this. Any allegation of illegal drug use by a San Joe's police officer is concerning. There are no free passes for police officers, and we will not make excuses. Think about how deranged. Think about how fucking deranged these motherfuckers are. Their coworker has a medical condition and dies, presumably, because of a bad batch of whatever they were buying that was cut with fentanyl, and they didn't know that they were buying fentanyl. Typically, that's how fentanyl poisoning and overdoses happen. They think they're buying another sort of drug. It was cut with fentanyl, has a higher percentage than they're used to. You know, they really want to rush, so they go like with a dose that they're familiar with, but it turns out because of the fentanyl, it's a much higher dose than they're familiar with. It causes a reaction. They end up dying. Right now, again, why are drugs cut with fentanyl? Why are others like cocaine is cut with fentanyl, meth is cut with fentanyl, stuff like heroin is obviously cut with fentanyl. So why are all of these drugs being cut with fentanyl? Why? Oh, because of the drug war. Because cops in this country decide to spend their lives, sending people to steel cages over substances. It creates a black market without any regulation that results in people cutting costs in corners, that results in people getting bad batches of drugs that happen to have higher traces of fentanyl because it's cheaper to acquire fentanyl, especially from Chinese manufacturers via the USPS and international mailing, right? It's cheaper to acquire fentanyl than to actually use the, 100% of just the drug, right? Why use 100% of whatever drug you're selling to someone when you could make it like 60-40 or, even 90-10, right? Any ratio, it's all cutthroat capitalism in the black market, right? So notice the irony, by the way, of a police officer who spends their life deciding to throw people in steel cages like a lunatic fascist, and then they end up getting killed by the system that they uphold and preserve and protect. And then police have the audacity, they don't view even each other. I mean, like, I think it's very obvious to note, I don't know what this video has to say, but the photo, DeJohn Packer is a black man. If this were a white person, I feel like the police would have acted differently. But because, really it boils down to what do cops hate more? Black people or cops, right? They hate black people more than anyone else. And so obviously their coworker being black, in my estimation, right, especially given what we know from California police departments, from my estimation, if this were a white guy in his 60s who died of alcohol poisoning, or let's say it was a white guy in their 70s who died from cocaine or something, would they really say the same thing for that? I doubt it. I highly doubt it. So anyway, so the San Jose police officers, right, the chief is talking about accountability. We need accountability for the guy who's dead. What does that mean, accountability? I don't understand. A San Jose police officer was found dead in his home over the weekend in South Bay. The officer said to be 24-year-old former San Jose state football player DeJohn Packer, a graduate of SJPD Academy in 2021. Imagine going through the year 2020 and then deciding to yourself, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to become a police officer. Like, you go through the year of 2020, right? You see everything that happens throughout 2020, and your takeaway is, fuck yeah, I'm going to become a cop. Fuck yeah. Hey. Okay. Milpitas police said to ABC7 News that Packer was off duty when he was found dead in his home Sunday afternoon. It is a difficult day here at the police department today for a lot of us, SJPD Sergeant Christian Camarillo said. Everyone is heartbroken for Pac, for his family, and for our football family here because he had a tremendous impact on everyone he met. SJSU football head coach Brent Brennan said, interesting, by the way, that everyone else who knows this person, right, is like, oh my God, they're heartbroken, as they should be. But the official police chief statement is like tough on drugs. Like you shouldn't have been doing drugs, kid. Right? Isn't it crazy, right, that everyone in this guy's personal life have the correct human reaction, right, to this situation, and yet the police who caused this officer to die, right, the very nature of policing in this country creates stuff like fentanyl, creates stuff like poisoning, creates things like overdosing. Without policing, without drug enforcement, law enforcement like that, for drugs, none of that stuff would have happened. So again, it's insane to me. It's insane. And the reason why I covered this story is, one, I think it's a good thing when people stop becoming police officers. I think I treat policing in this country as a zero-sum situation. The less amount of people that are at the job, the better for all of us. So in that scenario, officer down, bing, bang, boom. I would have preferred if they retired and went to live on a perfectly healthy life. Unfortunately, that is not the case. But again, it really is insane to me that police hate their coworkers so much, and especially, and again, I'm just assuming, right, that, like, if this was like a 70-year-old retired police chief who had like a fucking, cocaine habit or something and ended up dying of this, I guarantee you this would have been written in a different fashion. I'm just saying, I think it's fascinating that police hate each other so much that when they all have addiction problems, it's just they all try not to talk about it, right? What do you think happens? You see all of these stories of police evidence lockers, drugs mysteriously disappearing from the evidence lockers. I wonder how that's happening, right? So again, it's horrifying, it's sad when people die of drug overdoses, but it needs to be underscored that police are the problem. Without police, there would be no such thing as fentanyl poisoning, right? Without drug laws as they are constituted, there would be no such thing about fentanyl poisoning. Why? Because you could go to a regulated dispensary for the drug of your choice and get one, get what you know, get something and you know what's in it, as opposed to buying something and whoops, it has fentanyl in it. Again, this is a situation completely avoidable, except that we organize our society in a way that puts people in steel cages for medical issues. If someone had a rash, right, on their back or something, and it was, like, very painful, would we, like, say it's a good thing that they died because they had a medical issue? Like, let's say they died, they scratched their rash, and then, they bled out or something. Oh, it's a good thing he died. He had a medical condition. He had to die. If someone has cancer, do we go around after they die of cancer and go say, like, God damn, I'm glad they're dead. They need to be held accountable for having a medical condition. Why do we only do this with drugs? When people have eating disorders, right, do people go like, oh, I'm glad that they're dead because they had an eating disorder, therefore they deserve to die. They had a medical condition, so therefore death penalty. Am I right, people? Only with drugs and only with cops do people feel like it's okay to be like, oh, we need to hold these people accountable for dying of a medical condition. It's insane. It's insane. And the reason, again, why I wanted to underscore this story is because the police response is horrifying. It's horrifying that this is how cops view their own people. Look at this. Our police family is devastated by the sudden loss of Officer DeJohn, blah, 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 right? And then, but look at this tweet. If you look at this tweet, right, it goes on to carry that public statement of some kind. Right? Like, again, it's like, I don't know, man. It's unfortunate that someone dies. It's fortunate that the person who died was a cop. I'd rather a cop die from a drug overdose than anyone who's not an oppressive fascist bootlicker. But again, this is just how police treat each other. This is how they act. This is how they behave. And on the, DeJohn himself, again, imagine the irony of dedicating your life to throwing innocent black people in jail and steel cages for using drugs when you yourself are a drug user. Isn't that fucking crazy? But that's not new. That's not special. That's not anything, that this is just the standard police behavior. They're all hypocrites. They're all jackbooted thugs, and they're all evil, plain and simple. And anyone who's trying to, peddle some any bullshit about that, I'm sorry. I don't care about that. But there you go. Goddamn shows going on. It's not true that they wouldn't use fentanyl if it was legal. Peter, people, when they die of fentanyl overdoses, let me be more clear with what I meant to say. When people die of fentanyl overdoses, typically, according to all the studies I've seen, a 95 to 99% of the time, people do not get addicted to the fentanyl, or at least they get addicted to the fentanyl, but don't think they're getting addicted to the fentanyl, right? What happens is we see people that, for example, use stuff like meth or heroin or, just pills of some kind or, even cocaine. What they do is they get addicted to these substances, right? And then what happens is they cannot get the pure cocaine or the pure whatever that they're addicted to, and instead they can only get it cross-cut with fentanyl. It might not kill them the first time, right? But it gets them addicted to the fentanyl in it. Now, again, people, if fentanyl was legal, people might still want to get addicted to fentanyl, or not. I don't know if anyone would want to get addicted, but people might still want to use fentanyl. But they wouldn't want to use cocaine and then accidentally get fentanyl in their system. And that's what I'm trying to say. People that would have a cocaine addiction would not, be doing fentanyl while thinking they're doing cocaine. You know what I mean? And that's what causes these overdoses. Is like if people wanted to do fentanyl and they knew the dosing, right? Because fentanyl is extremely potent, right? If they knew how to dose it correctly and they wanted to do so, they should be able to do so. But if someone wants to smoke a joint and it happens to be laced with fentanyl, That's a problem. So, anybody see Training Day? That's a great movie. Fentanyl is by far the most dangerous substance. I don't know what metric you're using to rate the most dangerous substance. Like, I would say, like, I don't know, uranium is probably more dangerous than fentanyl. I would say, like, radiation, nuclear radiation is a more dangerous substance than fentanyl, personally. I would say, like, solar rays that can penetrate the atmosphere are probably more dangerous than fentanyl. But I understand, I think I understand what you're trying to say. Of the more available, kinds of street drugs, yeah, fentanyl is definitely one of the more dangerous. But I don't know. If you want to do fentanyl, and you are buying pure fentanyl, and you are weighing it out and dosing it properly to, in accordance with what you're capable of doing, and you enjoy that, I think that's fine. I think anyone should be able to enjoy any drug. Anyone should be able to try any drug that they want. And there should be safe ways to go about doing so. That's my opinion. Gotta work in the garden and the greenhouse. G&G. Garden and greens. All right, so I think that there's a show going on. Last time I checked, I think there's a show going on. Let's talk about Joe Manchin. How do y'all feel about Joe Manchin? Can I get a fuck Joe Manchin in this chat room? Come on. Fuck him. All right, let's watch.
I've always said if I can't go home and explain it, I can't vote for it. And that's why I oppose Build Back Better. For Alex Mooney and his out-of-state supporters to suggest David McKinley supported Build Back Better is an outright lie. David McKinley has always opposed reckless spending because it doesn't make sense for West Virginia. Alex Mooney has proven he's all about Alex Mooney. But West Virginians know David McKinley is all about us.
I'm David McKinley, and I approve this message.
So a Republican got Joe Manchin to film an advertisement where he shits on Build Back Better. If I can't go home and explain it, I can't vote for it. Can anyone ask Joe Manchin to explain the Pentagon funding that he supports? Could we ask him to explain the Iron Dome funding that he supports? Can we ask him to explain why he doesn't support lowering prescription drug prices? Can he explain all of these things? Can we ask him to explain why he supports raising taxes on the poor and lowering taxes on the rich? Could he explain all those things? Maybe he could. But I'd at least love to give them the chance to explain those things. This idea of, does he actually talk to West Virginians? Let's be honest. If I can't go and talk to West Virginia about it, I can't vote for it. When's the last time this fucking stupid ass fucking entitled fucking prick has ever spoken to someone that has an income less than fucking $250,000 a year? Let's be honest. It hasn't happened in decades. This guy's a sellout fucking loser creep. And again, any Democrat who wants to tell you that this guy is worth dealing with, any Democrat who wants to tell you that, oh, Joe Manchin's an honest guy, he's an honest actor, he's going to tell us what he thinks, he knows what's going on, he's really honest, and he's cool, and we just have a slight ideological difference. I'm looking at you, Ro Khanna. I'm looking at you, Pramila Jayapal. I'm looking at you, the rest of the fucking Democratic Party losers that took these fucking stupid-ass fucking freaks seriously. The freaks in this case being Joe Manchin and Kyrsten Sinema. Anyone that took these fucking freak show loser lunatics seriously for even a second is a fucking loser. They're a fucking brain dead fucking piece of garbage, and they belong to fucking, like, if anyone needs to be flipping burgers at Wendy's, it should be fucking Pramila Jayapal and Ro Khanna, because they are certainly not fucking useful in Congress, right? They would be more useful being garbage collectors than they would be in Congress, because they're fucking garbage. And the same thing goes for Nancy Pelosi, Chuck Schumer, Joe Biden, and the rest of these so-called fucking Democrats. They're all fucking garbage. This guy's a fucking Republican. Like, he talks like a Republican, he walks like a Republican, he looks like a Republican, he acts like a Republican, he votes like a Republican, but he just calls himself a Democrat, and everyone's like, well, he's a Democrat, right? Like, I mean, like, these motherfuckers are fucking stupid. I'm sorry. Again, the only people that have any credibility to be talking about Build Back Better or about, any Democratic Party. Note, by the way, like, the progressives, the squad, I should say, those that actually voted against the bipartisan and BBB D-Link bullshit, right? The ones that actually knew that was bullshit, right? Like, it's not like they wanted, like, a fucking, like, to immediately turn America into communism, right? That's not why they voted against Build Back Better. Why did they do that? They supported the president's agenda. What the president ran on. The president ran on Build Back Better, and the squad and Bernie Sanders was like, we want what the president wants. And every other Democrat, including the president, said, fuck the president. I don't care what Joe Biden wants. Including Joe Biden said Joe Biden's fucking agenda is fucking stupid. That's what Joe Biden said. The Democrats literally voted against their own party platform in favor of this guy, and this guy is going out there and doing advertisements for Republicans to get Republicans elected. But wait, remember when Joe Biden was giving Republicans praise and advertisements in 2018 and 2019? I remember that, right? So maybe that's why Joe Biden didn't really fucking care about fighting for what he campaigned on. Maybe he didn't give a fuck about it to begin with. I'm just throwing that out there. Do I really believe that? I don't know. Why don't you ask Joe Biden why Joe Biden didn't fight for Joe Biden's agenda? I would love to know why Joe Biden, the president of the United States, fought against Joe Biden, candidate for president of the United States agenda every single step of the way. It's interesting. It's very interesting. So again, isn't it insane that only 7 members of Congress, and one of them is an independent, right, wanted what the Democrats as a whole, as a party, ran on just 2 years, not even 2 years ago, a year and a half ago. A year and a half ago, the Democratic Party platform was presented, and only 7 members of Congress, one being an independent, care about it. The rest of them just said, fuck it. Fuck it, fuck it, fuck it. Fuck it. Joe Biden said, fuck Joe Biden. Kamala Harris said, fuck Joe Biden. Jen Psaki said, fuck Joe Biden. Nancy Pelosi said, fuck Joe Biden. Fucking Chuck Schumer said, fuck Joe Biden. Right? Fucking Pramila Jayapal said, fuck Joe Biden. Ro Khanna said, fuck Joe Biden. AOC said, I don't know, maybe Joe Biden's campaign promises were actually something we should fucking do. Bernie Sanders was like, oh, maybe we should actually do what the fucking party ran on. And he's not even a fucking Democrat, by the way. How crazy is that? Like, out of anyone in the Senate, the only one who actually gave a shit about the Democratic Party platform is an independent. What the fuck? Like, I mean, my God, it's insane. It's insane. It's crazy. But anyone who wants to tell you that this guy's an honest actor, they're selling you bullshit. Don't listen to them on anything. They're fucking garbage. And I'm looking at the Progressive Caucus. I'm looking at Joe Manchin. I'm looking at Joe Biden. I'm looking at Nancy Pelosi. I'm looking at Chuck Schumer. I'm looking at all these motherfuckers. Fuck them. Fuck them in the face. And not in the good dick way, I should say. Mila, don't you have brunch to go to? What the heck? Gotta go to the bitch brunch. Yeah, that's the other Biden that we were told about. Gotta vote for the other Biden. God, where is that clip? Hold up. The goddamn other Biden?
And I have a simple proposition here. I'm here to ask you for your help. Where I come from, you don't get far unless you ask. My name's Joe Biden. I'm a Democratic candidate for the United States Senate. Look me over. If you like what you see, help out. If not, vote for the other Biden. Give me...
Oh. Vote for the other Biden. I wish I could. I wish I could, let me tell you. Y'all, I've got some news for everyone who involves themselves in this program, and that is that it is, in fact, the weekend. Yeah! So we got a show here lined up. That, honestly, I'm not gonna lie to y'all, that kind of, like, pretty much ends the, this segment for news. I don't, like, there's a couple other things I could talk about, but fuck it. Fuck it. So we're gonna go into the movie review portion of the show, and the QCOC portion of the program. QCOC, for those of you that don't know, what QCOC is, QCOC, questions, comments, or concerns. QCOC. So we're going to be doing some movie reviews. So everyone get their notepad open, figure out some questions, put them in there, hold off until the movie reviews are over, and we'll go from there. QCOC. Madge? What is Madge? Every progressive, if they run in 2024 except Bernie or AOC, will cuck for mansion. Well, I mean, it's not just AOC. It's also Ilhan Omar, Rashida Tlaib, Ayanna Pressley, Jamal Bowman, and Cori Bush. Am I leaving anyone out? I'm going to be honest. I was very unimpressed with Ayanna Pressley in 2019. I honestly did not think that she deserved to be referred to in the moniker of the squad. I mean, keep in mind, the squad, by the way, like, let's be honest, it's a racist term by Nancy Pelosi because she couldn't remember the names of all those weird women who happened to not be white, by the way, right? So she just called them a squad, you know, so it's a racist term. But anyway, I always thought Ayanna Pressley was more centrist than the rest of them. But honestly, I'm not going to lie to you. I think she's done a great job. I think she's improved. I mean, like, it's very rare, in my opinion, that you see people, like, go into government and get better over time, like, being in government. But I'm willing to say that Ayanna Pressley has improved since her first, couple weeks or whatever. Like, her first couple weeks and months, she, like, kind of was a little bit more on, like, the centristy line, in my opinion. But she has gone definitely in the right direction. Nancy Pelosi didn't come up with the squad. Are you sure about that? I recall that being the case on the first day of Congress. As I recall, it was Nancy Pelosi. It was Donald Trump tweeting like AOC +3 and all that kind of shit. and then Nancy Pelosi like joining in to agree with Donald Trump and say that this squad makes us look bad or whatever. That's what I recall. I could be wrong. I could be wrong in that if you want to correct the record. But that's my interpretation of history. I could be wrong. If you can come up with the correct version of history, I'd love to see it. Got to correct the record. All right, so I got a movie review. A review of a movie. I watched 2 movies yesterday, so we're going to be doing 2 of these. And it's going to be interesting. So notice how, by the way, Rialan has stopped talking, by the way. Notice this. After challenging me, they have mysteriously disappeared without a trace. So just throwing that out there. Am I saying I'm an intellectual titan of our time and that challenging me is a waste of your effort and that you'll never succeed? Am I saying that? No. But am I thinking it? Absolutely. And that's really all that matters. But yeah, I think Ayana has improved over time. Katie Porter is a fake aggressive. I think Katie Porter is really good at what she does, and what she does is very narrow, and she's like mediocre to bad at everything else. That's my opinion. Like being in Congress, right? Ideally, you want someone who's well-rounded in everything, right? But if you compare Katie Porter to any other member of Congress who's not part of the squad, I would say she's probably like in the second tier of good. Like if we make a tier list of politicians in Congress with the S tier being the squad, S tier for the squad, I would put Katie Porter in whatever the second tier is. Like she's better than most Democrats, but I don't think she is really well-rounded enough on a lot of things that, she really should be. But what she is good at, she does do really well, I will say. All right, movie time. Movie time. Watching some movies. That's what I do. I watch some films, filmographic experiences. So I watched 2 movies yesterday. Both of them I've never seen before. And I'm going to start with Pacific Rim. So this movie, scrolling through the internet, on my streaming services, and this popped up. It looked interesting. Put it on. And I will say, I'd never heard of this movie before. It just looked cool. So I put it on, and it was very fun. It was very fun. It was a really fun movie. I think it's like a little over 2 hours, something like that. Basically, this is like a live action anime. Like this is like, some giant monster mech fighting. Like it's just super fun. It's super cool. It doesn't take itself seriously, which is what I like about it. There's lots of like funny, over the top, like comedy kind of like stylings to it. It's got the very like kind of like anime plot line where you got like your rival in your in-group and your good group. It's got like your evil demons from hell. In this instance, right, so humanity is getting under attack by like some alien race known as like the kaiju or something. And so it's like, and then they're like, oh shit, we're getting killed by all these giant ass aliens looking like Godzilla like motherfuckers, right? And so then they're like, all right, what do we do to fight them? Should we use nukes? Nah, that'll never work. Should we build giant domes or walls or move underground? Nah, let's not do that. Should we, do something else? Literally anything other than build giant robots? Nah, like let's build some giant fucking robots and let's fight the aliens with giant robots. So that's the idea. That's the synopsis of this film. Is they build giant robots known as like Jaegers, I believe. And so like they're meant to fight the aliens. Now, then there's also like these scientist characters, which are extremely hilarious, by the way. I love the duo of scientist characters. And so their role is to like find out like what's going on with the aliens, why they're coming, like try to predict when they're going to come. And they find out, they calculate that, oh, the aliens are actually just getting started. There's going to be an even higher tier invasion coming any minute now. And that leads to like some of the main characters involved in the robot program to be like, all right, so we're going to have to nuke the portal that the aliens, because there's a portal now on Earth. There's like a portal and the aliens come through the portal. And so it's like, all right, we got to nuke the portal because you got to nuke something, right? You know, we have nukes. Might as well use them somewhere. So they nuke the portal. That's the goal of the movie. But like most of the movie is just like epic, like combat. Like you have the giant, like fucking robots, like, fighting the fucking alien Godzilla lizard, like motherfuckers. And then they're doing this, and then it's like, whoa, and then like the main characters get killed. Oh my god, main characters getting killed. Whoa, and then the aliens are like, whoa. And like it's, you know, it reminded me a lot of Cloverfield as well, where it's like there's a lot of scenes where like the main characters are just like in the middle of a city, and like the aliens are just running through the city, destroying everything, like just murdering people. I mean, it's great. I mean, it's, you know, this is a really fun movie. It's a very action heavy like movie, but then also there's like a lot of like, there's like the side stories, there's like the in between, right? So you got like the big action heavy arcs, and then you got the areas that are in between the action arcs, right? Or it's like you got character development, you're learning more about the side characters, you know, you're getting more main characters, and then they fucking die, then they all die, all the main characters die, what the hell? But anyway, this is a fun movie to watch. I don't know how to describe it, you know, this is just a movie that if you want to watch it, like, it's a high action, it's very popcorny, you know, whatever that means. If that means anything to you, it means something to me. So it's popcorny. Like, was I eating popcorn during this movie? Honestly, I don't remember. But it is popcorny. It's silly, you know, don't take it too seriously. You're not, you know, trying to write a scientific analysis of the world based on this. One of the other main factors of this movie, though, is that the mech giant robots are like too hard to operate by one human. So what they do is they develop this scientific program like called like neural drifting or something, where it's like you connect two human beings' brains to create like one overall brain. Like they just like, you know, it's like running your graphics cards in Crossfire or something like that, you know? And like, so, you know, they do that, right? But then, like, you know, part of the movie is that, like, you know, like they got to find people with the compatible brains, you know, because if you're joining someone's brain, you're meshing into one brain. You got to make sure that, you know, you're a little compatible. And how do you find out you're compatible? Well, you fight with sticks, right? Why not? I don't know. You fight with sticks, and then people write down on clipboards how the stick fighting went, and then they find out if your brains are compatible. Why not? But then also, they use the technology for the neural drifting or whatever it's called. One of the scientists decides, you know what? I'm gonna hook my own brain up to one of the kaiju brains. Right? They got like a brain sample or something, and they hook up their brain to the kaiju brain, and then it's like, whoa! Right? It's like pretty crazy. And then he, like, you know, like he knows what the kaiju are doing, and so like that's a pretty cool part. It's just a fun movie. I can think of it like, you know, anime but live action. It's just super cheesy, very fun, very enjoyable. I'm aware that apparently there's multiple films and or other forms of media in relation to this film. I have not seen them. I had not heard of this in any capacity. I've never heard of anything remotely related to this until scrolling through a streaming service, and then found it. And so, very good movie, very fun to watch, and there you go. That's that. It's the Above It All movie review, Pacific Rim. Who directed this? Somebody directed it. Let me look. Somebody. Guillermo del Toro. Somebody directed that shit. Says they came up with the name themselves. See, Reelon, like, it's okay, so it's one thing to say, oh, I'm here with the squad. Like, that's like, you know, like, that's just like verbiage, you know, like that's not a name, you know, like when you're out, like, you know, like the term "we're here with the squad" or whatever, right, is like you take a fucking selfie when you're out to dinner with your friends that flew in from out of town. You're here with, like, that's not like a, like, you know, that's not them naming it, but yes, that is a part of the origin story. It's just like millennial speech. Like when you're at like a fucking furry convention, right? And you roll into Waffle House at 2 a.m. at the furry convention, right? You know, you're rolling in with the squad. You know what I'm saying? I heard of Pacific Rim about 20 years ago. Well, considering the movie came out in 2013, I'm going to press X to doubt on that one. But unless you're a time traveler, because if that's the case, that's cool. Very skeptical when it comes to movies. I don't know why. I watch pretty much anything and everything personally. If it exists, I'll watch it. 10 years ago, whatever. 10 years, 20 years. What's the fucking difference between 10 years and 20 years? You know, I've been around on this goddamn earth for fucking 30, fucking 40, fucking 50 years. All the years seem the same. You know, did this happen in 1974 or did this happen yesterday? I don't fucking know. I've got dementia. 10 years, 20 years. What's the fucking difference? You know what the difference is, motherfucker? It's 10 fucking years. That's a long goddamn time. You know what I'm saying? Like, so, like, imagine the gap of knowledge between, like, when you're 10 years old and 20 years old. That's a long-ass time. You know what I mean? Like, 10 years is a long time. Like, think about it. 10 years ago? What was going on 10 years? Barack Obama was president 10 years ago. That's a long time ago. You're telling me fucking Barack Obama was president? The United States elected a black man to be president? I doubt it. I don't think that's possible. And yet, according to reports, 10 years ago it happened. Right? So, I don't know. 10 years is a long time. 10 years, 20 years, 20,000 years. You know what I'm saying? Who knows? Who knows? I don't know what's going on. But anyway, I'm doing a program here today. I'm doing a show. It's a show that exists today. And I'm here. I was 10 years old in 2012. It's a long time ago. I mean, I don't know what to tell you. 3 months from now, 6 months from now, I don't think that's going to be different from 18 months from now, 20 months from now, 75 trillion months from now. Doesn't get the MR references. Isn't that the new intro song? I know that there's a new intro song, but to me, if it's not Danarchy, it's not the intro. It's not the same. I mean, I like the Bullprog ones too, but I know that they got a new one. I've only seen it once or twice, to be honest with you. All right, movie review. I noticed that there's something on my tongue. So I was doing that thing just to like look at my tongue in the camera, but I mean, my tongue is like super pale for some. I guess it's the cider. It's making my tongue pale. I'm dehydrated. My goddamn funky tongue is dehydrated. Yeah, I subscribed to Bullprog, so I saw it like when it was uploaded on their channel. I don't think I've seen an ep of Majority Report with it as the interstitial though. Alright, we got a show going on. movie review. That's right. We're talking about Triangle, motherfucker. All right, so this is a horror movie. It's scary. It's horror. But it's got a twist in that it kind of deals with time travel, time loops, anomalies, that kind of stuff. I love time travel. I love traveling. I love loops. I love horror. This is my kind of fucking movie. So I love everything involved, okay? This is Triangle. So it's horror. It's a slasher movie. It's like, or like, there's blood everywhere. Right, people are getting thrown off of fucking boats. They're fucking goddamn drowning. Right, they're getting shot with shotguns. They're getting stabbed with fucking things that are on the wall. There's axes, like, right, there's like car crashes. There's like, right, they're going crazy in this movie. So it's a horror movie. It's a slasher. It's a horror slasher. But it's also got the unique twist of time travel. There's time loops going on. So let me go in. So again, I'm a fan of all the materials, all the subject matter involved. So this is great. So, so the movie starts off with like, a parent that has like I guess an autistic kid or something. I don't know. But it's one of those movies. When did this movie come out? Like 2009 or something, right? So like, like people didn't know what the fuck autism was in 2009. So they like an autistic kid basically means that they're like, In 2009, autistic meant like, you are bedridden, you'll like, you're crazy, like, you go like, woo, all the time. Like people didn't know what the fuck they were talking about. So interpretations of autism in movies is kind of, it's a little ableist and it's honestly kind of gross. But anyway, let's ignore that. Let's try to shove that under the rug, right? I'm triggered. But anyway, so this mother has an autistic child or whatever, someone that, she should be, more attentive to, but she's not, spoiler alert. Anyway, so she goes with her friends on a boat ride. She needs just to get away from it all, just to really get away from it all, just to really kind of just, get the hair flowing in the wind, like, woo, and like, all that kind of stuff. So anyway, so they're on the boat, they're doing a boat ride. And I guess that they end up in the like Bermuda Triangle or something. I think that that's the idea with the movie Triangle, Bermuda Triangle. Whoa, creepy stuff. Anyway, so a storm happens that flips their boat over. They almost all die. One of them does die on the boat ride. I kept thinking that they would come back later on like, aha, I did the whole thing. But no, they didn't. Unfortunately, that would have been good. But anyway, so then a ghost ship kind of arrives. Like, just floats on through and they get on a ghost ship. And like, so, okay, so I was watching this movie, right? And like the initial segment is like the first third of the movie. And then we get to the loops. And the loops are great. Now, again, if you love loops, if you love time travel, watch this movie. It's just fun. It's enjoyable. Don't take it too seriously. But, and so anyway, so what happens is they walk through the boat. No one's there, right? A bunch of weird stuff happens. All of a sudden, a couple people die. There's someone with like a sack tied on their head, to hide their face, shooting people with a shotgun. Eventually, that the final character alive, Jess, the main character, the one with the autistic child, fights the one with the sack on their head, and then eventually realizes, she's the last one on the boat. She kills the killer. She kills everyone else, or like everyone else died by the killer. And so, and then she looks off the side of the boat. She's thinking, oh, I guess it's over. I guess the movie's over. And so she's looking off the boat. What does she see? She sees her and her friends stranded in the ocean from the shipwreck that occurred earlier in the film. And then that's when the loops start. That's when the fucking loops start. It's great. So then she realizes that she was the killer with the sack on her head, right? And she's under the impression that she needs to kill everyone to keep the loops, in order to reset the loop. She feels the need that she has to kill everyone in order to reset the loop. And so if she kills everyone and then resets the loop and then does it in a right way, she'll eventually escape the loop, right? So then she does that. She does just that. She escapes the loop, right? She wakes up on shore. She like falls off or whatever, wakes up on shore, escapes the loop. She did it, right? I'm thinking to myself, wow, this movie pretty fun. It's a slasher movie, except it kills the same people like over and over, so it's pretty cool. It's got a bunch of twists. There's the loops. I love loops. I love time travel. It's super cool. And then like, okay, so she won. So she goes back home. Then you find out. Then there's like this movie has like fucking Like the thing at the top, the poster, it will twist you and terrify you over and over. There's like 15 twists in this movie, right? It keeps looping and looping and looping, and when you think the loop stop, it loops the fuck again. It loops like a fucking, like like a loop-de-loop, loops. And so it loops, and then so she escapes the loop theoretically, goes to her child, and tries to drive away from the loop essentially, and eventually she gets into a car wreck. Then before the car wreck, so she is driving on the highway, a bird flies into her windshield, and she goes to bury the body of the bird, and as she does so, she sees that where she is just walking over to bury the body of the bird, there's 8 more birds right there. Then she's oh fuck, I'm looping, I'm still looping. She strapped the fuck in for another loop sesh, right? So she's still looping. She gets back in the car. She's freaked out because she knows she's still in the loop. So she tries to just drive really far to outrun the loop. Then, boom, she gets in a car wreck, kills her kid. Yeah, that's right. She kills her fucking kid. And then, right, she just escapes the scene, right? Because, oh, by the way, she had another body. One of her bodies was in the trunk from a previous loop. She killed another version of herself at some point. A little spoiler alert. Anyway, so then she finds out, oh, fuck, I gotta go reset the loop. So then she goes back to the harbor thinking, I'm gonna go, get on a boat and then fly out or, sail out to Bermuda, see if I can strap in for another loop sesh, right? And then she realizes, oh, fuck, her friends are getting ready to board the boat. Her friends are right there. The loop's already started. She's strapped the fuck in for a loop sesh. It's great. I love this movie. It was really good. I love horror movies, right? I love time travel. I love loops, right? Now, again, if you try to, logic this movie, it doesn't make any sense. Let's be honest. There's a lot of plot holes. It doesn't make sense as a time. We all know that. Who cares? I'm going to say who cares, right? If you're watching a horror movie with time travel and you're like, oh, does the time travel make perfect sense? Can I turn this into a math equation? I mean, I think you're missing it a little bit. Would I have preferred if the time travel was perfect? Maybe. But you know what? Whatever. It's all good. It's, in my opinion, they were making a horror movie and they were like, oh, what if we added loops to it to be cool, right? So, you know what? Don't take this one too seriously. If you like time travel movies, don't take it too seriously. If you like horror movies, then this is, in my opinion, a good horror movie. It's a good slasher movie. And it'll make you think along the way. I think it's pretty decent. So I endorse it. It's endorsed. Triangle, go check it out. It's a horror film. It's as I said, so go check it out. Boom. Movie review over. We're about to enter the Q-Cock portion of the program. Got some Q-Cock here. Primer is the best time travel ever in 12 Monkeys. Primer is fantastic. I watched Primer on shrooms once, and wowie, very good. Love Primer. 12 Monkeys, also really good. I have not seen the TV show, though. Doesn't have Bruce Willis. How could you? Q-Cock. Q-Cock. Questions, comments, or concerns. Q-Cock. So does anyone have any questions, comments, or concerns? Field them to me. Q-Cock. My birthday was good. I love to hear it. Goddamn Q-Cock. It's the official spelling of Q-Cock. Goddamn Donald James is this motherfucker is one of those fucking suit and tie and top hat wearing Abraham Lincoln looking motherfuckers that does movie reviews. It's oh yeah, well, you say the movie was mildly entertaining. I don't understand why people would even watch movies to begin with. The Philistines and the slime balls watching this entertainment, but for somewhat part of the intelligentsia, part of the upper echelon of human consciousness, I declare that the movie was, and I quote, mildly entertaining. Yes, indeed. Yes, I'm a very important person. That's fucking Donald James. Oh. Oh. It's all good. Oh! Oh shit. Goddamn Alley CIA. The CIA is at it again, folks. New cats in the Alley CIA family. I'm just not a movie person. It's all good, man. We all have our own things. So, got some cats? How many drugs can I do in one day? Depends. I mean, my 3 favorite drugs are mushrooms, marijuana, and alcohol. And I've combined all 3 on numerous occasions. And it's pretty fun. So, I don't know if I would do combinations with some harder stuff. I don't know. A little scary. Bob's telling me, oh God, I gotta make fun of Bob here. I'm sorry. Bob, more like slob. All right. What is your chat message? Let me see it. OMG, I've watched Primer 20 times! Primer's one of my favorite time travel movies of all time. I've watched it like 20 times. It's a really good movie. Do I understand it? Not really. I think I understand most of it. I mean, really, in order to understand the movie, that I love this movie, by the way. But I didn't get it, so I looked up explainer videos, and I still don't really understand it. It's my favorite movie, and I don't understand it. What's going I get it. Primer's easy. Primer's not that hard. There's like a chart. Someone made a chart of Primer. There's like a chart that explains the universes, but no. You don't need to watch an explainer video. It's my favorite movie, but I don't understand it. Yes, I've seen the chart. I gotta do a call-in show one of these days. I do love how the first half of Primer is so amazingly boring, like actual work. I love the first half, right? Where it's just the guys, like, experimenting, doing their dumbass shitfuck science experiments and failing, and then getting drunk on the couch and whining about how their lives suck, right? Like, it's genuinely really good. It's my favorite movie of all time! I've seen it 20 times! Now, dude, could I tell you anything about the movie? No, I don't really know anything, but I've seen it like 40 times! This is how you type. You have both your hands right next to each other. Like, imagine doing that on, like, an actual keyboard. Hold up. Like, imagine doing that on an actual keyboard. Like, does anyone actually type like this? Like, I type like this. Like, I'm all over the place. Like, my hands are going on the fucking number pad. But people are like with their fucking hands right next to each other. I've seen that before. It fucking freaks me out. What the hell's the matter with you people? I'll do my impeccable Gilbert Gottfried. Well, that's fucking rude. That guy fucking died, and you're gonna come on here and mock him on my stream? I don't know about that. That's fucked up. We don't mock the dead on this show. On the very same show where I did an Officer Down. No. We don't mock the dead on this program. Bob, I know. I'm not gonna bother with calls. You gotta pressure me. I'll do a call thing at some point. Get some of that shit in here. But anyway, that's the show. That's the program. There must be an officer with the last name Down, I hope. Nancy went to Ukraine. Oh boy. Oh shit, one sec. Hello? Yep. Okay. Right. Okay. Okay. Okay, so then what should I do? Okay. All right. Okay. All right, you too? Oh. All right, y'all.
All of a sudden we can't talk about Neanderthal DNA anymore.
Running against the worst candidate in the history of presidential politics puts pressure on me. Could you imagine if I lose my whole life? What am I going to do? I'm going to say, I lost to the worst candidate in the history of politics. I'm not going to feel so good. Maybe I'll have to leave the country. I don't know.
Dumb as a shit fuck, you know, cringe tour, etc., etc.